Colorado judge rules Trump can be on ballot, but says he engaged in insurrection. Denver District Judge Sarah B. Wallace wrote that Trump acted with the specific intent to disrupt the Electoral College certification of President Biden's electoral victory through unlawful means, specifically by using unlawful force and violence. And, she wrote, Trump employed was likely to produce such lawlessness. An appeal is expected and could ultimately be resolved by the Colorado Supreme Court or the U.S. Supreme Court. Wallace's ruling came a week and a half after the Minnesota Supreme Court ruled Trump could not be removed from the primary ballot in that state, and 3 days after a Michigan judge reached the same conclusion. Despite the decision's blunt wording and findings, Trump campaign spokesman Steve Cheung championed the ruling, calling it another nail in the coffin of the un-American ballot challenges. Trump opponents have been bringing their lawsuits state by state in hopes of ultimately securing a U.S. Supreme Court ruling that keeps the leading Republican candidate off the ballot in all states. The cases are moving quickly because caucuses and primaries will be held starting in January. Adopted in 1868, 3 years after the end of the Civil War, the 14th Amendment granted citizenship to those born or naturalized in the United States and guaranteed civil rights to all Americans, including those who had been enslaved. The amendment's lesser-known Section 3 was aimed at limiting the power of former Confederates by barring from office those who had sworn an oath to the Constitution and later engaged in insurrection. Time equals 400 Ms. greater than. Although Wallace found that Trump engaged in insurrection, she determined Section 3 does not apply to him. Section 3 refers to some offices and refers to those who are an officer of the United States, but does not specifically mention the presidency. Wallace determined the drafters of the Section 3 of the 14th Amendment did not intend to include the president as an officer of the United States.